this past month we lost, an acting legend, I believe, Val Kilmer. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. Chris wanted to lead the charge on this. We're going to celebrate a little bit of Val Kilmer here. So, Chris, lead the way. What do you want to talk about?
Get the champagne bottles.
Let's pop it.
No, it's funny when you start watching movies, you see actors of all different ages and, you see the older legends kind of go and you're like, well, wasn't that attached because I only saw about 10 years of their work toward the end of their life kind of thing. Well, Val Kilmer is a guy that I've sort of watched my entire life. He's always been there, very much sort of like Michael Keaton. You know what I'm saying? Or a George Clooney to a certain extent. These are just guys that have always been there. Tom Cruise. And so to see Val Kilmer pass away, I didn't know he was as sick as he was until I saw Top Gun Maverick. And then I could see that there was something obviously wrong with his voice and everything like that. And then come to find out after that he was, suffering from, issues with his throat and things like that. And, but he's one of those guys that's always been there. I always said when they did when they reported that they're going to do the Gambit movie, I think I even said on that episode, you know what? If it was the 90s, Val Kilmer would be my guy to play Gambit. He had the size, he had the look, he has that bonjour, mon chéri, and all that bullshit. Like, he could easily play that role. So I thought he would have been a good Gambit. But he's a guy that I've always enjoyed him no matter what he's doing. And he's done so many things that there are things of his that I haven't seen. I have some big blind spots. Ryan, don't jump at me. I have not seen Heat still. Even though I know all of the scenes and I know a lot of the different performances and things like that, Heat's just one of those ones that has escaped me. But that's definitely on my list. But, obviously things like Batman Forever, Top Gun, he played this pothead sort of, I don't know what you would call him, a floozy in Entourage. I don't know if you guys saw him in that. He was with a beard and just really, really long hair. Just looked completely ridiculous. But nice that he got into a Top Gun movie. I saw that
nice, man.
I saw that Tom Cruise had to really push for him to be in there, and he wanted to be a part of that back in 2018 when they were shooting that. And Tom was very emotional about it, talking about it afterward. He considered Val Kilmer a friend, and he always pushed forward. And just a big loss. A guy that could play a very good character actor, a guy that some directors considered very, very hard to work with. But I think a person people will look back at and be like, hey, you know what? That guy was an actor's actor. Was he a pain in the ass? Absolutely. But most of the good ones usually are. They're a pain in the ass in one way or another. So I just want to say that. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer. And whatever you guys wanted to add, go right ahead. Memories of Val Kilmer.
I'll tell you what. I got some good ones. So the thing I always say about Val Kilmer is his versatility. He's a versatile actor. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit that guy can do. Now, the first movie I ever saw him in, right, as a kid, was one of my favorite movies ever. Is Willow.
Wow.
Willow.
Do you remember Willow?
No. What year is that? 91?
Fuck me. I was in the 80s, bro.
88.
Yeah.
88.
So, he was my favorite film as a kid. And so he was like the... I remember, it's been years since I watched it, but he was like, I remember being in a cage or whatever. He was just, I don't know, some kind of medieval outlaw, if you like. Mm-hmm. And then he then becomes like kind of the brave fucking guy who steps up and takes on the witch and then, saves the day kind of thing, right?
I'm already sold on this movie.
Yeah.
Directed by Ron Howard. Damn.
It's classic, bud. It's classic. All the little guys running around. It's awesome. Man, it's a great movie. It has its moments, where you got Val Kilmer as the badass and you got some really like heart-warming moments in that, So no, he was awesome in that, and that was my first movie with him in it. And he was the hero.
Yeah.
From villain to hero, like. And then moving on, he's the Iceman, and nobody's cooler than the fucking Iceman.
Oh man, yeah.
Like nobody's cooler.
Everybody
than the
wanted to be the Iceman in that movie.
He's sick, man. Yeah. I mean, right. He was him and Tom Cruise did in jail, but at the end of the day, it's like he has some great fucking lines in that. Like I don't like you because you're dangerous. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of shit. And then you saw him kind of doing like the homoerotic volleyball scene. And he was like,
yeah.
All right,
whatever. Staple of 80s and 90s movies. You always have to have these guys shirtless playing soccer, 100%. Whatever the fuck. Fucking
Kenny Loggins got a fucking paycheck of that movie, didn't he? Honestly,
got paid.
Fuck. you got paid. But yeah, fucking yeah, no, he was top notch in that. You know what I mean? He was the man. Again, all the one-liners in that movie, and he was a big part of it. Like, he wasn't a small character; he was a big part of that shit. So again, it gives you kind of a mix of his versatility again. You know,
Yeah.
Coming from, like, again, villain to hero to this guy who's just suave, cool as fuck. He's a Top Gun pilot. What more? And then moving on, Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That was one of my, like, again, best childhood, like, he took over from Michael Keaton, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton was before him. That's right.
Yeah, and
so
he was
with
offered. Keaton was offered the role, but turned it down.
Yeah. So he was great in that because, like, Jim Carrey was like the Riddler, and then you had Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh man,
as
Tommy Lee
Two-Face.
Jones. Yeah.
Like, you've already got a star lineup.
Right.
I just all I remember, like, I'm trying to think because it's been many years since I've seen it. He had the fucking turtleneck. But here's the thing: the motherfucker rocked the turtleneck really well, right?
Yeah, he really
You
did.
know what I mean? It's like, and he was again, he rocked Batman really well, and he had again, he was just a breath of fresh air. It was something different because Michael Keaton was, I loved him as Batman, but Val Kilmer I thought done phenomenally well, and again speaks more for his versatility too, that he can do the superhero movies. And then there was as another I can think of, but he did remember MacGruber from Saturday Night SNL?
No, I haven't seen MacGruber.
That shit's a joke.
Yeah. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. So he played a character called Dieter von Kunt, who was the fucking he was the bad guy, whatever. But him in that, it's a stupid movie, whatever. But it was good to see that this guy's still out and about doing stuff,
Yeah.
And he played, he was in a comedy, and he played an actor in a comedy movie. He was like, okay, cool. Again, this guy can do anything. You know? He wasn't looking his greatest at that point. He's like, you look at him there compared to when he was Iceman, you're like, whoa, hey, time has not been pleasant to you, my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can let yourself go, son. But no, again, great actor. Seems like he was, just a top guy, well respected in that respect, in that aspect. Like, and he pulled off some really good shit.
Yeah, good call there, Darren. Yeah, I got to watch that Willow. That seems like right up my alley. I mean, the story was written. Story's written by George Lucas. You have James Horner, legendary music man there, right? Nobody's hornier than James Horner when it comes to putting together the music. He's just really incredible. Horner's also done all kinds of stuff, war stuff. I think he's even done some of the modern warfare music, as they call it in Quebec. He's done a lot of good stuff, so no, it's good. Ryan, cap us off. Memories of Val Kilmer, or if you want to talk a little bit about the Batman movie, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, no. So I've seen 3 movies of his, to be honest. Not much of a Val Kilmer. It's just kind of one of those.
You just
spots,
haven't run into him. It's not that you're not a fan. It's like me and Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm missing so much Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm a fan of him when I see him, though. I'll be honest. It's just that whatever. I haven't had time, but yeah, Batman Forever. I guess we'll start there. 1995. Yeah. Just to add on to what Darren said, I think he is, out of all the Batmans, the most underrated one. I think he doesn't really get the flowers because, as Batman, he did good, but like he didn't do like much better than any of the other ones except maybe Clooney. But like as a Bruce Wayne, I thought he was great. Like I thought he looked the part. I thought he was awesome. I was like, this. I could buy this as Bruce Wayne. But yeah, I love Batman Forever. Honestly, like I think 2 or 3 years ago, I did a rewatch of those old Batman movies, and I'm over here thinking, after what's the second one's called? I always forget. Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
I'm like, after this one, they get shitty, and then Batman Forever. Surprisingly, I was like, no, this is still good. I love it. And then Batman and Robin happened. But yeah, I mean that was probably my introduction to him. But you mentioned Heat. He is in like my top 25 movies of all time. Like,
damn,
it's I love that movie, and his part in it is so good because I think it's pretty vastly different than the other main characters, in the sense that they seem like they're all together, but they're really not. But he's really not. Like he's like really not together. So it's like, damn, okay. Like to see the one character really fall off from the main crew is like, oh shit. Yeah, I love Heat. I recommend Heat more than anything, honestly. And then I saw him in the 2005 movie with Robert Downey Jr., Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh yeah,
And I liked him
of
in that
course,
too.
yeah.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was good.
It's funny. I asked you one time, "Have you seen this movie?" And you're like, "Yeah." And that's when you surprised me, dude, because I'm like, "There's no way this motherfucker has seen that movie, right?" Because that movie came out. The Kiss Kiss Bang Bang movie is crazy because that movie came out when Robert Downey Jr. like he had just come out of like prison after a long time away for like drugs and shit. Nobody wanted to give Robert Downey Jr. a job because they were afraid that he wouldn't finish the movie and he'd fuck over everybody, right? So I forget what had to happen to make this movie. So anyway, my point is it's a movie that you wouldn't really think twice about. I forget how I saw it. I might have seen it in film school. That's how kind of niche it was. I think one of my instructors was like, check out Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. I thought that movie, I haven't seen it recently, maybe in the last 10 years, but it still held up and I still laughed, right?
Yeah. The way I came across it actually was I was flipping through TV, the cable back then, and I don't know why, but I landed on that one, and I think Robert Downey was on the screen, and I was like, this looks interesting. And then I watched it from like maybe it was probably halfway. And I watched it to the end, and I enjoyed it. I was like, "Fuck, I want to see the first half." So then I went out of my way and like actually watched the whole thing. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. A nice little tidbit. I love when this happens because this used to happen a lot when we did Fresh Prince. You would go into his little, their IMDb sometimes, and you find some gems. In the 2011 Spider-Man Edge of Time game, he played Walker Sloan. He voiced Walker Sloan, who was like one of the antagonists, and that's just random to me. Like I was like, fuck, that's a very mid game. Like that's when Spider-Man games were just like failing to find like a good footing, right? And I remember liking that game, but like I also remembered like saying I'll probably never play this again. But to have Val Kilmer as one of the bad guys is crazy to me. Like you always expect, voice actors who primarily do voice acting to do these things, and then you have a Val Kilmer appearance. It's like holy shit.
I love his variety.
Cool. See, versatility, buddy. Versatility.
Just a different variety of stuff. I mean, I don't think he did get sick, in the mid 2010s and things like that. But I don't think he's one of these guys that would have signed like a 6-picture deal to be in the MCU. Like this guy's just far too authentic, far too artistic. To he'd probably rather do 6 different movies, maybe do 2 indie films, a Disney movie, an animated feature, a video game, and then fuck it, he's gonna try his hand at directing music videos. This is a guy that when his voice was going, he was still saying like, I'm gonna work till I'm 150 years old. I'm gonna go on screen. I think he said I'm gonna play the oldest man in the world on screen, right? And that's a guy that never let his disease shut him down or put him in a box or anything like that. So I gotta give him that. Like that's still incredible to still be out there, still be public figure through all his troubles when he could have just been at home resting and you know what I mean, spending time with his family. And I'm sure he was, but still to be out there and doing his craft is pretty exemplary, if you will.
Incredible,
yeah, for sure. Well, rest in peace.
Good segment, bud.
Val Kilmer. If you guys like this video, be sure to check out the rest of the channel and consider subscribing. Go even further and subscribe to Podcast Fresh wherever you listen to your podcasts for new episodes every week.